Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we are taking a look at Jim Carrey's The Mask by Present Toys. Don't forget, this is an unlicensed, unofficial figure. I got mine from toyswonderland.com. I have popped the link in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you are down in the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it is so fitting for Mask. It's wacky, it's zany, and it's all kinds of colourful. Up top, it almost looks like honey dripping down, Present Toys, front and centre, an image of the figure, then down below, Mask. On the side of the box, a silhouetted image of Mask's head that kind of looks a little bit creepy. He's got this devilish grin, plus a Present Toys logo. Around the back, a big honkin' M. One guess what that stands for? Yeah, you guessed it. Mask, plus some warnings and legal info. Back in the day, I actually already reviewed a 1/6 scale Mask figure, and that video did really well for the channel. But I wasn't super happy with it. I guess, just like any content creator, I'm my own biggest critic. I didn't love the color balancing, the yellows were all sorts of blown out, they were mixed in with the highlights, and I hadn't, as of yet, refined my style, so I'm pretty happy I get another chance at reviewing Mask in 1/6 scale. I know, you're not really here for a trip down memory lane with Justin, but just wanted to give you a bit of insight as to why I picked up this one. Plus, I am a fan of Present Toys. They've released some pretty solid figures and, luckily, not that many stinkers. First in-hand impressions, yeah, this guy looks very vibrant and so far, pretty good. What we are going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box, take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, this is a blast from the past. It's an old school oval style base. But unfortunately, the print, on mine at least, is horribly misaligned. Around the back it hangs over the edge, around the front it doesn't quite meet the front edge, not ideal. I do like the pretty simple print though, yellow, and up top it says Mask. We also have a regular crotch grabber. Look at you, Mr. Moneybags. Mask, I am so sorry, but you do get 3 big bags of money. They say Edge City, Savings and Loan, plus a $sign. Now they're all tied together up top, and as you can see, they're full of pillow stuffing. They're not actually full of 1/6 scale money. Now, I wouldn't have minded a little bit of weathering on the surface, but overall, yeah, it's a pretty cool accessory. To go along with the money bags, you do also get just one single stack of bills. Now, they are hundreds, so nothing to sneeze at, but only one. I would have liked at least 3, one for each bag. Now, every bill is printed, but that's masking tape, so you can't actually slide that off and remove the bills. Just like the previous Mask figure, you also get Milo. Although it's not normal Milo, it's crazed Mask Milo. I like the sculpt of his body and the shading and various different layers of paint. Then around the front, that head sculpt is awesome. His eyes are wacky, his mouth is open, and those teeth are super glossy and very big. So yeah, I'm absolutely going to display Milo. He can just pop himself alongside the display base in the collection. It would have been so cool to receive a Jim Carrey head sculpt because we get the mask. It doesn't really make sense for Mask to be holding his own mask, but nevertheless, this is a dope accessory. There's some wood grain sculpted in, you've got some detail around the front, and the paint applications, they're pretty good. There's some shading in those wood grain crevices. Around the back though, there's nothing, except for a really funky looking face. Mask's hat technically does come separately, but come on, it's part of the outfit. You're gonna have him wearing the hat. You can remove the feather in his cap if you so choose, and the entire hat is made of rubbery plastic. Now, a friend of mine, Ken Carpenter, actually flocked his, which I'm tempted to do myself, because the texture is just okay. In fact, the paint applications, they're pretty rough. It looks like texture, like it's mottled and flocked, but I'm pretty sure that's just bubbling paint applications. I hope I'm wrong and it doesn't peel off over time, but I think flocking it is the way to go. We do get his wolf whistling dog head sculpt, less a wolf and more a goofy cartoon dog, but I like this, I can't help myself, and yes, we will try it on the body a little bit later. Got these big thick eyebrows, these huge glossy cartoon eyes, his mouth is open so he can whistle, there's some shading on the high spots, and a couple of dots where his whiskers would be, but no whiskers because, he's a cartoon. We also get a hat for this head sculpt, but isn't it weird that it sits over his eyes? Surely that would be uncomfortable. Cartoon logic, I guess it doesn't matter. The paint on this hat, though, is a lot cleaner than the other. But you can't actually use this with the main mask head sculpt because his head's a lot bigger than the dog one. You can also remove the feather on this hat if, for some reason, you lose or damage that one. He does come with his mallet, but this too looks pretty cartoony. The paint unfortunately does spill over the lines, the edges where it's supposed to be in, but I can forgive it because the sculpt is on point. I would have liked to have seen some wood grain, but being cartoony, it does also fit the bill for mask. I hope I'm not being too forgiving with the mallet, but if I am, I guess I'm sorry. Nevertheless, we also get a full array of hands. And these hands, the array of gestures, and the quality of the hands themselves, they're really impressive. The skin texture is nicely painted, they're not super waxy and glossy. We've even got some wrinkles on the knuckles and sculpted fingernails. Like I said, these hands, I'm actually pretty happy with them. What we are going to do now, though, is get the mask himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. All of that stuff comes a little bit later. For now, holy proportions, Present Toys. I am so happy with your choice of body. It's got defined shoulders, it's tall, it's very lanky, and his legs, they go on for days, which to me looks spot on to the movie. Plus, his arms, they can go completely flat down by his sides, which is more to do with the tailoring than I guess the body. The tailoring? Did I hear you ask? Well, it's just Present Toys flexing. They're saying, look how thin we can make the material. Look how vibrant we can make it. Look how clean we can have our stitching. And look how well we can have it hug the body. They get a bunch of ticks across the board. Then the icing on the cake, that head sculpt is undeniably mask, even from a distance. Up close and personal, kicking things off with mask. Or his head sculpt. And so far, so good, my friends. This head sculpt is, so sorry in advance, smoking. I love the expression, I dig the wrinkling in the mask and the shading. Plus, even around the back, there's some wrinkling in the neck, like it looks like the skin is bunching up. That's some next level detail. The neck does appear slightly long, but Jim Carrey's a lanky dude, so having the collar sit down low and having the suit hug his body so well, it, to me at least, looks accurate. Plus, you can remove the hat if you so choose, and now you can see even more detail. If you couldn't already tell, I am enamored by this head sculpt. I love that expression with the big teeth, they're really nicely painted, and his eyes do look pretty lifelike. But don't forget, there is another head sculpt. Oh my word, we've discussed the paint applications, we've discussed the sculpt, but on the body, I wasn't prepared for this. It is goofy as hell. But I do mean that in the best way possible. I'm starting to really like this head sculpt. His neck is super long and it's on a permanent angle. Very cartoony, but that's the name of the game for this head sculpt. The big honking eyes, the teeny tiny head, the ears sloped back, and of course the smaller hat. It all works together beautifully. Can I ever see myself using this in the collection? I don't know. Potentially one day, but the other head sculpt is so much more iconic, so for now, I'm just gonna stick with that one. Why are we back here? Well, we need to discuss the coattails, cause this suit, I've already alluded to the tailoring, but it is next level. It's super thin, so the scale of the material feels accurate to 1/6 scale. It drapes over the shoulders perfectly, and it hangs naturally down below. We also have some fake little press stud buttons on the back, just above his coattails, and on the back of his sleeves too. Back around the front, it genuinely doesn't get better than this. This is some of the finest tailoring I've ever seen by Present Toys. See what I did there? Didn't say ever, just by Present Toys, but seriously, it looks awesome. He's got defined shoulders, the lapels sit nice and flat. He's got a pocket square with the polka dot pattern, just like his tie and the inside of his jacket. Looks like he's robbed Cruella de Vil, but no, it's accurate to the movie. He also has proper suspenders that actually do hold his pants up. I also dig the stitching around the collar, which wouldn't have been easy to do, especially at that small scale. Now his pants do ride high, but just like everything else here, it's accurate to the film. One of my favourite details though, his shirt cuffs actually do poke out underneath his jacket, which means they're slightly longer, so with traditional suiting standards, this is definitely how it should be done. Now these pockets do appear to be fake, but that's totally fine with me. That means the jacket is just going to lay a little bit more naturally. It's nice and flat. All of that, and I haven't even mentioned the colour of the outfit yet. It is practically popping on camera. This yellow is so very vibrant. And the contrast between the yellow of the outfit and the green head sculpt, oh, it gets a giant tick from me. We've got some pleats sewn in up top, and his fly is Velcro and functional. So if you wanted to undo it, adjust the shirt or tie, pull it all down and tuck it in place, then do it back up, you totally can. He does have some pleats ironed in on the front of his pants. Then down the bottom, the cuffs, they're rolled up and stitched in position, so no worries, they're not going to roll down over time. Now his boots, they look good. I like the stitching and the dirt and grime in the crevices, plus the spats underneath with a little bit of wrinkling, but the way they function is kind of funky. Now, he does have a traditional ankle peg on the inside, but up above, that's another ball joint, so you actually get two joints for maximum range of motion. We will see how that comes into play a little bit later. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left, The Mask, on the right, Sideshow Comic Batman. Why did I go with The Dark Knight? Well, I'm glad you asked, but it supposedly makes sense. Apparently, in the comics, they've crossed over before. So, in the collection, you could totally display them together. But also, I don't own any other Jim Carrey figures. I know, it's a tragedy. I would love to own a Dr. Robotnik or maybe even a Bruce Almighty figure, but as it stands, this is the only one. I sold my previous Mask figure because I knew this one was coming and I knew it would be way better. He is a little bit taller than Batman, which is crazy because this Sideshow Batman is no slouch. He's already pretty tall. So if you have him, hopefully this comparison helps out to give you a rough idea how he'll scale in your collection. Going over articulation, do bear in mind this is my personal copy, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. Starting off with the head sculpt, it's on a fixed neck with a ball joint at the bottom. Looking forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side, great for wacky zany mask poses. Although I wouldn't have minded a split at the mask for even greater range of motion. The arms will go up to there, going forward and back on soft ratchets, butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down, swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going past 90, plus a hinge and swivel for the wrist peg. The torso does crunch forward and back, swivel and pivot, not hindered by any padding. The legs will go forward to there, once again no padding, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, double bend at the knee going past 90, then a double ball peg, good for forward and back swivel, and some ankle pivot as well. Wrapping up on present toys, The Mask. Going into this, okay, I was pretty excited. I'm a huge Mask fan. When I was a young lad, I had the VHS and I wore out the darn tape. I watched this movie so many times. So now that I have what I consider to be the ultimate 1/6 scale Mask figure, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Starting off with the body, a great choice. It's tall, it's lanky, and the proportions are exceptional. The outfit on top of the body ticks across the board, but I've already said that. I don't even care. That's how good this outfit is. It hugs the body, the material choice, the color. Yeah, this is 100% the definitive Mask. And then we get to the head sculpt. In fact, head sculpts, because yes, we have two of them. One of them that's the classic cheesy Mask grin, and the other that's way goofier, it's the dog head. And on top of all of that, a ton of awesome accessories. Yes, we could have had more, maybe even an unmasked, I'm so sorry, Jim Carrey head sculpt, but I'm not complaining. This is 100% going in the display as my only mask in 1/6 scale. Now, could another company potentially come out and improve on this guy? Yes, absolutely. I would love to see a flocked set of hats for this figure, but so far, so good. This figure definitely takes the crown for me personally. Now, I got mine from toyswonderland.com. Do bear in mind, this is a third-party, unlicensed, unofficial figure. If you are heading down to the description, I have popped the link there for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video, this is a review on a figure I picked up for my own personal collection. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.